And hello, everybody. This is Ryan Hayes, and I'm back with a episode of the Crate Mat podcast. This is actually a video podcast, first one. Uh, I'm using a different platform. I try to do the whole video thing. I got Levi Haines, guest on the podcast, Pennsylvania State Champion, two-time Super 32 runner-up. Who's number one winner? Penn State commit. So many accolades this kid has. Levi, hey man, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So I want to talk to you a little bit. You're getting ready to prepare to make the world team again as a junior. Tell me a little bit about your preparation.
Yeah, I've been training at Nittany Lion Wrestling Club and also at M2. So I'm been getting a lot of good training in, a lot of great partners around my weight, and a lot of people that are also getting ready for that. So it's cool to grow with those guys and kind of see each other on our paths to achieve our goals and make the world team.
So back in the fall, and I guess in preparation for for world teams, you decided to forego wrestling your senior year at Biglerville High School to kind of prepare for the junior, and then also ultimately prepare to wrestle at Penn State. Just tell me a little bit about that decision and how you came to it.
Yeah, so I kind of was I knew this opportunity to keep wrestling at the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, and I thought that it would be a great opportunity instead of wrestling in high school, because I was going to be able to stay and work with the Penn State Room and just continue to grow. And I felt at that time that I was going to have a much better chance of growing as a wrestler in that setting, and that I didn't really it didn't bother me that I wouldn't win a state title, that I want to do bigger things in college, and I think this route would give me the best chance to do so. So that's what I ultimately chose, and it's been an awesome journey.
Now, I know you competed in a little bit of the college open tournaments. Tell me a little bit about how that's been for you.
Yeah, it's been a great adjustment. My first one I wrestled at the Franklin Marshall Open, and it was neat to wrestle in some college matches before actually being in college. I enjoyed all of them, all the opens I got to. I made it to two opens. Wrestled at 157, felt good getting down to that weight, and competed well. So ultimately, it was a very positive experience, and I think the rules of college and the way I wrestle go very well together, and I think it could be seen when I was competing in those.
And how tough tell me a little bit about the grown man strength that you felt up at that level.
Yeah, there's definitely a different level of strength with those guys just because they're a little bit older, more mature. But I think I never felt like I was outmanned by any of those guys, and I think with the longer periods, being 3-2-2 7-minute matches really helps my style, because I don't really get tired, and I just keep that a high pace that really causes those guys to get tired, and I can score a lot more points that way.
Now, with the junior trials in Vegas, tell me, do you know anybody kind of in your whole little bracket? Tell me some people there that's going to be some good competition.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't looked at any registration lists or anything yet. I'm going to wrestle 74 kilos. So I imagine that's usually a pretty tough weight class. I don't know any off the top of my head that'll be there yet, but yeah, I can't come up with any off the top of my head. He'll be there. But it'll be tough for sure. It's everybody wants to. So if you win the Open, you kind of have an advantage of sitting in the finals of the junior trials. So a lot of the guys are going to enter in that and want that. So it's going to be a tough tournament, and I'm excited for it. It's a good time. Get to wrestle with a lot of the guys I've been training with, so it's pretty cool.
You know, like last year, you know, it was a pretty competitive tournament, but I think now, since everybody's kind of doesn't have the scare of COVID, I feel like it's going to be a lot of good kids there. I mean, just in general, everybody's trying to kind of be that guy to be able to be in position to kind of represent their country on a national level. So you've been in the Penn State room a couple times. How was like that whole room? Like, tell me about that room. I mean, and just kind of how Penn State is the powerhouse team that they are. Just tell me a little bit about that room and things like that.
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience. All those guys are really like minded and want to reach really high goals, and so it's cool to be elevated by those guys, and they're out there chasing their dreams just like I am. So everybody's always working hard and looking to do that ultimate goal. And it's just like one guy does this, then somebody's going to chase him, and so they're just kind of constantly elevating each other. And I think that is what makes them one of the best teams in the country and consistently. And those guys just they want to win, and they'll do anything to do it.
You know what I found out with this whole national level type wrestling is that parents and kids, they're willing to kind of make a lot of sacrifices for their kids, and um, you have some kids that'll actually move to a whole different state and just pick up and move, and their whole family move to a whole different state for wrestling. What do you think about all that?
I think if a kid feels the need that he has to move to reach his goals, I think that's what he has to do. And I don't think a lot of those guys view it as a sacrifice. I think they're like, this is what I had to do to become the best I can be. And so I think a lot of them are very willing to do that. And yeah, I think if you ask a lot of those guys, it's not going to be a sacrifice. It's what they want to do. And I think most of their parents really want to see them succeed. So they're willing to make that move to see them through and expose them to the highest training they can. I know a lot of guys who have done it, and I don't think their families ever viewed it as really a sacrifice. It's just what they do.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now you said it that way. I assume you was at either M2 or at Nittany Lion today, right?
Yes, sir.
How did that go for you, man? How
Well,
was
I had a great day training. Feeling good. My weight's good. I get to compete this Sunday, so starting to taper back, getting ready to compete at the Ultimate Duels Sunday.
Yeah, of course M2 always has a stacked team. That's that's always a pretty that's always a good tournament and leading up to the the trials and all and opens and things like that. Uh, when you're not like wrestling, like what are some other things that, that occupies you, man? Like I know you seem like you wrestle a lot. Like what are some things that just you do just for fun?
Yeah, I like to hang out with some of the guys on the team, and we all kind of have some different hobbies. So uh, we all like to be outside a lot, outdoors. A lot of us are big into hunting. I'm a big hunter, and fishing and stuff like that. But like now in the summertime, we go. It's a lot to do here in State College, so we like to go to the lakes and stuff and fish and boat around. So it's a nice area. Go on hikes and stuff. But I mean, a lot of it is traveling for wrestling and things. But there's always a little bit of a refresher getting outside. That's what I really like to do.
You sound like you're kind of stuffy, man.
Yeah, a little bit, getting over a cold.
Yeah, that's to be expected nowadays. So one of the questions I want to ask you, and I know you've outgrown it, but of course, Pennsylvania being the powerhouse state that it is, uh, what do you think about the kind of debacle between the whole middle school PJW and Keystone tournament and stuff like that? What's your take on all that?
I don't know a whole bunch about it, and I haven't really thought about it too much. But I think I think it's a cool opportunity to be able to wrestle two state tournaments. So guys are going to see each other different weekends. That if a guy doesn't win one weekend, they get another opportunity to win again. But um, I don't know. I guess it can be also viewed as like it kind of waters it down, and so I don't know. It's kind of like a weird situation. I don't know how if I had to go back, I'd say that I'd probably prefer just one state tournament. So there's like one state champ, but uh, I can also see where it could be a benefit to kind of helping kids get another opportunity to compete in that. And I think it's a good opportunity for kids to kind of grow. I mean, it gives them another chance to wrestle in a really tough tournament. The state of Pennsylvania will always be tough. So I imagine that a lot of those kids that win the PJWs will probably wrestle in the Keystone as well, just a couple weeks later. So I don't really know if it has that much of an effect.
Yeah, for sure. When you hit that wrestling room at Penn State next year, what do you feel like you're going to be able to get in that lineup? Do you feel like it's going to kind of be like the man, like starting out? Like where do you feel like you stack up amongst the wrestlers around your weight?
Yeah, I think that I stack up with them very, very well, but it's like one of those things where it's like talking with the coaches and things, figuring that stuff out, whether I'm going to redshirt or not. Just don't really know at this time yet. But I'm just gonna be ready and to go compete next year, and when the time comes, if I'm needed, I'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, for sure. You're talking about like hunting. What was I think it was the day of the surge. I think you're in Colorado hunting, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
You really go out that far. I mean, you must love to do it. Tell me a little bit about that trip. Like, what did you shoot anything?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a really unique experience just getting to kind of drive out west and see some different things I haven't got to see before. So actually, it was the day after Super 32s. I drove back home and then left right away to go out to Colorado for about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks, and it was a really unique experience. Just awesome seeing some of that landscape and things, and it was kind of nice just take a little bit of a vacation, taking time off from wrestling, kind of let my body recover and things like that. So it was a good little mental reset, but I was really eager to get back on the mat. Obviously, Super 32s didn't go the way I wanted to, but just kind of used it as a learning experience and got back in there and started scrapping again. And I think it's made me a better wrestler because of it.
How important is that for just wrestlers who are just in it, just like you, and very dedicated to just have that time to decompress and just be with yourself and do something you love?
I think it's super important. I think overtraining is something that's pretty overlooked. So I think it's a good way to kind of just reset and make sure you're healthy, firing all cylinders. Because if you can't train 100% all the time, because your body it'll fall apart. I think make sure you're healthy and getting the most out of the practices, and you definitely need to get out and do those little reset things just to keep yourself in the right mind and so you're able to have those great practices, because you'll grow more than just going in every day and beating yourself up. So I think it's huge. It's something that I've been implementing and been seeing a lot of success in. I really believe in it. I used to work out almost every day and just kind of run yourself into the ground. Eventually the body hurts and it's tough to get up and keep working out like that.
Yeah, for sure. So what I've also, so you're like a 2-time Super 32 runner up, and I know it didn't go the way that you wanted to go, but talk to me a little bit about I think you had, was it MJ Gayton in the finals? Was that who you had?
Yeah.
Where'd you feel like you went wrong in that finals match?
I think a lot of it was just kind of match control. I can't remember great how it went, but I was leading, gave up a takedown at the end of the second period. So I was up, I think 2-1 going into the second. I go down, I get out, it's 3-1. And then I'm in short time left, I give up takedown, tie at 3-3. I think going back, can't give up takedowns short time like that. It does happen from time to time, but in a match like that, with a competitor like Gayton, that's huge right there. So then he goes down, he gets out. It's 4-3. Just kind of going for it. I get taken down again. I get out. I had to take him down to tie it to put in overtime. I remember getting after it, and I was right on the edge. And edge wrestling is huge. And I tried to bring him back in. He kind of squared up with me, I just kind of lost control of them. So I think just learned to wrestle the edge and like I said, kind of match control. It was something that was pretty important. I mean, if I go into the third period up by 2, that's huge. So it's definitely something to learn from, and it was an awesome experience. Super 32 is a fun tournament. Got to wrestle in it since elementary school, and I think it started out. I don't know how many matches I won when I went there to making the finals twice. It's been pretty cool to watch myself grow, but also just competing at that high of a level. It is very fun to me. I don't get to do that too often, and when I have the opportunity to do that, I really enjoy it.
You know what I figured out was those California kids, right? You really never know much about it because like they're all the way across the country, so it's not like you see them in different tournaments, like unless you maybe go over to like Doc B's in high school or something like that.
Right.
So I mean, because they had Gayton and then of course Ruiz, who beat my boy Joe in the finals, and it was like not, it's like, where these kids come from? It's like what are they doing over there? And it's just like you really can't gauge their stuff because you're just not there. Like, so it's kind of they're kind of like their own little secret over in California. I mean, I figure other than wrestling, yeah, great, but yeah, politically, I wouldn't even want to step foot in California. But that's just that's on some other stuff, man. I tell you, a freaking, the way California is, a freaking Democrat here would be a Republican over there, man. It's really that bad. But so this talk to me a little bit about like your style of wrestling. What kind of wrestler do you consider yourself?
I kind of consider myself like a pressure wrestler, always kind of putting that guy on the edge and just lots of snaps and pulling that guy around, kind of get him racked into me, and then just kind of guy that always just keeps coming no matter what. And I think it's a great style for freestyle, especially because of making guys stay at the wrestle you on the out of bounds line, and in college I think it'll translate well. They tend to call stalling a lot quicker in college, and so it's going to make guys kind of have to wrestle me. But with those longer college matches, I think my style is going to translate very well into that.
So of course they've implemented some kind of some rules and for freestyle, being one, I think that if you're on a shot clock and even if you score, like you're not on the clock, but the person that shoots on you and he scores, if you don't score, you still get that one. So it's like a 3-point swing. What do you think about that?
I like it personally because it encourages that guy to kind of come after you when you're on the shot clock and encourages him to score. So it also, like, one guy is encouraged to score, but now it's encouraging the other guy to score. So you're going to see a lot of guys really getting after it, I think, in those 30 seconds. So I think that's pretty neat. And I like it being on the other side of it, knowing that, man, if I take this guy down, I get another point, which if you for him, then that's 5 points. So that's a big swing in a freestyle match. So I really like that new rule. And I like the new out of bounds rule they're kind of implementing it with the caution. So they give you a step out and then they'll give the guy caution one. So if you shoot him off and it looks like that guy's really just fleeing, they're going to give you your 1 point for step out, but also caution him and give you another one. So I really like both those rules that they're implementing this year.
Yeah, you know, that's the one good thing about freestyle. I actually like watching it more than folk style and covering it from a highlight wise. You don't use a lot of video footage because those matches can like end like that. I mean, especially if you catch somebody in a good lace. Speaking of a lace, like what's like the worst lace somebody ever caught you in? Like the one that just kind of hurt, like it was just tight and you knew you were a goner.
Whew, I don't know. I've been in a lot of those. Match wise, I can't remember one in a match where I was like, man, this is super tight. I can remember a couple of times I've been wrestling where I put guys in laces. I was like, "Oh, this guy's in danger." You know, this is tight.
Yeah.
I say in practice, it's probably been wrestling with probably David. he's put me in a couple laces where, I mean, there's like the bones on my shin's been rubbing each other, and it just, I know I'm going over. There's no fighting it.
Yeah, you got to have like that. Even if you have a good pain tolerance, you're still going. I mean,
Yeah.
especially with somebody like him putting one on you. What's it been like working with David? I mean, you're training with like a whole freaking like Olympic gold medalist, man. Not too many people get that opportunity. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's been a real cool opportunity, and I'm very thankful for what he does for me. He's been very open with helping me train and getting to wrestle with him. So I think that's really really neat that I get those opportunities. But it's been a game changer for me. Not only just making me a better wrestler, but also just like breaking down matches and better match awareness. Just break, especially for freestyle. I mean, like with that wrestling out of bounds and the new rules and things, the shot clocks. He's helped me a lot in those situations.
Yeah, have you ever been able to score on him?
Here and there, every now and again. Probably wasn't going his hardest, but here and there I get sneak a couple on him.
Yeah, I feel like once you kind of get that year of college wrestling, and he's probably going to turn it up on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's beat me
So
sometimes pretty good.
yeah. So of course, I want to talk to you a little bit about Dalton Perry. He's a kid that's gonna be on my podcast soon. What you don't see a lot of is freshmen that commit to a college early. What do you think about that? I mean, good for him. It's shocking, very shocking that he did it. But what do you think about that? Just that whole commitment early to Penn State. I mean, it's like he knows where he wants to be at.
Yeah, I think it shows. I think it shows coaches that he's very dedicated to that program. Since I ever met Dalton, I've known him for quite a while. I've known that he's always wanted to go there, and I think just him deciding, hey, I don't even want to deal with the other guys recruiting me. This is where I want to go. I think that shows how much he really wants to be there, and I think that's probably best decision for him at this point. I mean, he's gonna be tough. He's gonna be real tough, and I think it's pretty unique. Not many people do it, so I think he's gonna make the most of it and do very well.
What do what do you think about the whole? So I was watching John Mark Bentley. He's the head wrestling coach at Appalachia State,
Okay.
and like it's kind of like he kind of brought up Dalton's situation on a recent episode of the Flow podcast about like for a kid to be able to commit like that. It's like are these kids going on campus and I'm not saying that any school's breaking a rule, but he's kind of in his eyes he's like if these kids are committing this early, what are they being influenced by? Do you think kids are being influenced negatively or kind of in a way of being able to go to a college these days? Like, what's your thought on that?
I really don't think they're being influenced. I think like especially in Dalton's case, he knows that's where he wants to go. He wants to be a high level wrestler, and that's wants to win national titles, and that's Penn State's where you go to do that. So I think that's kind of a no brainer for him.
Yeah,
I don't really.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that's just a no brainer.
Yeah,
There's a lot of situations that I probably don't know about, but I think just guys knowing where they want to go is. I mean, when I was a freshman in high school, I pretty much knew where I wanted to go. I still went through the recruiting process a little bit, just kind of look at some other options if there were any, and I don't really think that it's a bad thing. I think once a kid has his mind made up and that's where he wants to go, I think he should commit himself there and get after it and continue to work to get to that place. But I also don't think looking at your options is bad either. I just think when you know, you'll know, and whatever that looks like for you, I think you're the only person who can make that decision.
yeah. It's funny when you talk about when I just brought that up. So Joe Seeley, that's my boy. He once June 15th comes, his phone's going to start blowing up with colleges, and he just goes out and does this like training at Iowa with his friend Gabe Arnold, and he pops up on a couple like I don't know, Instagrams, Facebooks, and I'll tell you, I probably got like calls from like 4 or 5 different coaches. Is he going to go to Iowa? Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like how it was really bad. Like, I mean, they were like, they were texting me. I'm like, dude, like he's just like Joe's the type of kid. He's just going to go and like, hey, you want to go wrestle at whatever college for a weekend? He's going, yeah, like that's just how he is. It's really weird, like how everybody gets like all bent out of shape over little things. I guess that's just the competitive nature of coaches and wanting to get the best athletes. So talk to me just kind of like a little bit about what, but like between now and not Ultimate Club Duels, but Vegas, like what are the most important things that you need to kind of make sure that you hit on, to make you be in the best position to compete in Vegas?
Yeah, just staying consistent with my training, making sure my weight's under control. It really isn't too much of a problem for me. I'm not real big for 74 kilos, but I walk around like 170, so it's not that bad of a cut. But just, staying consistent with my training, making sure my weight's under control, nutrition, just all work's been put in. And so there's not much you can do at this point, being a little bit under 2 weeks out. So I think traveling smart, traveling a couple days before getting there, being smart with my workouts once I get there. I think those will all be important. Getting good warm-ups in, just all things that most wrestlers implement. But like I said, the work's been put in. It's not going to change anything 2 weeks out. So
yeah, what are your struggles? Like, what do you struggle with that you know that you need to kind of get a grip on as you start to prepare for higher level of wrestling?
I don't know if I have like struggles. I mean, there's areas I need to improve upon, but I wouldn't necessarily call them struggles. I think to keep on improving, I just need to keep on getting in the room and working through positions with my partners and the coaches. I think for freestyle, parterre, I need to keep working there. In folk style, I think mat wrestling's huge in college. So I think working on a good turn series is important, which I already have a pretty good one that I've been working on. But I think those aren't necessarily struggles, but I think there's things we can improve upon. And I mean, just constantly getting better, 1% every day. So I don't really think there's any struggles, but it's definitely things we can improve upon.
Are you ever going to go back to the buzz cut that you had at 2020 Super 32? I mean, you got a mop head, man.
I might. We'll see what happens. That was kind of like a couple of days before. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get a haircut. They're like, what do you want? I was like, just take it all off.
I assume, is that ever kind of getting away like a little bit, or?
Not really. I'm kind of used to it at this point, wrestling with long hair. I mean, any guys, there's a lot of guys who wrestle with long hair now. I don't think that really wasn't too much of a thing a while ago, but now you see it more and more. Just something you kind of get used to, wrestling every day with it. I mean, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah, I guess in freestyle, of course, you don't use headgear, but that's kind of like the signature you, like in a sense of like, I mean, every picture I've ever seen is just boom, got the mop head going. So besides like what is your like ultimate like achievement? What do you want to achieve like before your body says, hey man, it's time to let this go?
Yeah, definitely win the Olympics. I mean, that's the pinnacle of wrestling. Been dreaming about it since I was a little kid. So that's definitely what I want to do. So just keep on working towards it. But I'd like to win some NCAA championships along the way. So that'd be pretty sweet. And I think that Olympic gold medal is like the pinnacle of wrestling. That's what I want to get to.
I got to ask you this: have you ever thought about like MMA or anything like that? Especially since Bo Nichols right beside you guys up there at M2 with a whole American top team.
Yeah, I definitely thought about fighting. I think I like watching fights, and I think it'd be maybe something to look into eventually. But I definitely want to wrestle internationally for a while, and it's pretty tough on your body. So I don't know yet. I don't know about getting punched in the face. I think I'd like punching people in the face, but I don't know how I feel about getting punched back.
Yeah, well, you just got to work on that defense. Honestly, if you go to that sport, you're gonna get punched.
Yeah,
You're gonna get punched.
Fargo.
You do you keep up with it any?
A little bit here and there. I like to go watch the fights when I usually fall asleep though before the main cards because of how late they are. But I do enjoy watching them. I watch a lot of the highlights the next day and stuff like that.
Who's one of your favorite guys?
Um, right now, uh, probably Peter Yan. I really like Peter Yan. Usman, I really like him. And before it was Khabib, I really like watching him fight. Shemaev too, I like him. He had a good one the other night. I love watching him.
You know, it's scary. Like watching that guy just kind of roll through like how he did. I mean, he's got the third ranked guy. He just comes through unranked and beats the guy. He's eyeing like Kobe Covington next, who is a guy that I know, and I've quite frankly, that matchup between him and Kumzat scares me. I mean, it's the guy's good, you know.
Yeah,
But it's good watching that stuff. It's good watching. I like watching the wrestlers who wrestled in college, NCAA's, and they kind of transitioned into that. I also think that Henry Cejudo re-entered the USADA pool, so I think he's looking to
yeah.
try to scrap real soon. And I've always liked watching him wrestle. Uh, so, anyways, man, I know you're kind of busy. Won't take too much more of your time. Before I let you roll, you got any parting words, man? Just kind of any words of advice or anything you kind of say to some of the people that kind of want to be in your position?
Yeah, I'd just say just kind of keep it in perspective. Take it a day at a time, and nothing's too big to achieve. You know, I didn't see a whole lot of success when I first started wrestling, but just kept working hard and enjoy the process. In between, you look back and be like, man, I put in my best effort, and that's more satisfying than winning anything.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, hey, I'll probably see you in 2 weeks. I'll be there in Vegas, and congrats and everything you've achieved so far. You ranked number one in the country for a reason. That's your hard work that you put in, and uh, again, like I know you're probably going to be in the process of making a world team again as a junior. So appreciate your time and good luck with everything you got coming up.
Awesome, thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Mm-hmm.